Hello, 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 everybody out there on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you're watching from. I'm Joy the Goddess. It's nice to see you. Nice to be seen. Um, it is the day after elections, and we still don't have a president. Does it matter? Probably not. But I mean, it looks like a repeat of 2016. Like I just feel like even though Joe Biden is like 6 seats away right now from having the electoral vote on lock, I also feel like it doesn't matter if he wins because we've already seen our president ready to go to war or like to refuse to leave if he loses. So only God knows what tactics he's got up his sleeves. And then I can't I just don't want to imagine what would happen if these Proud Boys actually go to war over this shit. Because my concern is like, who the fuck is he going to war with? I don't know. Anywho, I woke up this morning feeling like crap because smart person that I am, as you see, my window's open and I fell asleep with my window open, which is not a good look for head congestion. Anywho, I am taking part in the ultimate ClapBack today, which is self-care day. I've been staying in my bed. I've been staying off of social media. I've been not watching the news. I did do a check-in because I wanted to see who won. So shout out to Alex AOC. She's back. She won her race. So we still got an advocate in the House of Reps. That's going to be dope. I really feel like in 4 years, it should be Kamala and AOC on that ticket for president and vice president. I'm just throwing that out there. Just an idea. Not saying that's what we got to do, but I think that would be the most radical, badass ticket in the history of politics. And I think they'd win. Like I said, guys, I've been getting a little bit of a head cold, so I've been in my bed quarantining myself. How you feel? What's some crazy ass predictions that y'all got? Let me know in the comments below. Right? I have made myself some oysters, which, all right, so before people judge me on the oysters, did you know that you get 7 essential nutrients and vitamins from oysters? Did you know that there is more protein in a half dozen oysters than there is in a 4 ounce? Well, the same amount of protein in 6 oysters is in a 4 ounce steak. Think about that, guys and girls. Okay, so it's worth the slurp. Learn how to shuck. Just a little thing I'm putting out there, right? That's how I stay so. Oh, look at the skin, the skin. Oh, but yeah, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin A, protein, iron. You get a lot of iron from oysters. So I'm just saying, consider it on the next time you're taking care. That garlic mole was really great. Became a really great mayonnaise once I added some lime juice and some other proprietary blends to it. So if you saw it on the Instagram, you want the recipe, holla at me. Go on Amazon, buy my book Hodgepodge. The recipe is gonna be in there. There's also, we're waiting it out. So we got 15 seats in the House of Representatives, Democratic seats. What up, peace? How you doing, Artistic? Nice to see you, meet you. We picked up 15 seats in the Democratic side. I don't know if that means anything. Because really, when you think about it, both Democrats and Republicans have been fucking over black people and women forever. So, this whole idea of a two-party system or lesser of two evils, like, why do we have to pick between evils? I never got that. Why does nobody want to pick between the two greater goods? Why is it's always the lesser of two evils? Why are we picking between evils? Why are we not creating a third lane of just goodness? That's why I really like times like these. I really want to applaud and commend people like Paperboy Prince of the Suburbs. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the people that's been out here really trying to fight for a seat in city council. He tried to win when against the incumbent in Bushwick, and he's of our generation, right? He's Paperboy's a homie, right? And he's like us. He is one of our peoples, and like he's the type of person that is doing exactly what I think we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know his manager? That's dope. That's my homie. I know him. We go way back. Shout out to Paperboy, the Prince of the Suburbs. I don't know how your race ended up, but I hope that I saw you out here campaigning all week, all year, and doing a really good job of it. Because we have to remember that, like, both parties in this system did not make space for us, right? So unless we have people that are advocating in our seats, this is why I keep saying to people, like, stop getting all wrapped up in the fucking president. So what if your vote doesn't count for president? It counts for all those lesser things. I'm still trying to find out who won these judgeships, right? Because again, judgeships, personally, I don't think we should be voting in judges, right? I really don't think that that's a good idea, but it happens, right? So because we vote in these judges, does anybody know anything about these judges? No. We rarely know anything about the judges or DAs that are running. No, that's right. Judges do not determine the law, but they do interpret it. Right? Judges are the people that interpret it. So they can see a law. It's just like the discretion that police have with certain things, like how marijuana is now decriminalized in New York City, right? So possession of an illegal substance is not something that you should be charged with if you're carrying a bag of weed. Let's say a dime, a dub sack of weed or an eighth of weed, right? That's nothing. It's like 3.5 grams. You can have in your possession up to 22 grams. However, while it is not a criminal act to carry these things, it is on the officers. The officer has discretion on how to interpret that possession. So let's say an officer stops you, you have an eighth of weed in your pocket, and they feel like, oh, I need this collar, so I'm going to arrest you for possession. They do have that leeway because it's still, while it's not criminalized, it's still against the law to possess, right? It's still against the law. But the officer in that moment has the leeway to interpret on how to interpret that law. Judges are the same way, right? Judges determine how laws are interpreted, whether you get the book thrown at you, whether children who are 14 and might fuck up should be charged as fucking adults. The DAs and the judges are the people who make those decisions, right? The people who determine the law, right? Who create the law. That's our aldermen, our assemblymen, our councilmen, our city council, our state assembly, our state senators. They create the laws and determine the laws by which we live by, which is why it's so important that we have people that are out in the House of Representatives, like AOC, that are from our hoods, that are of our experiences, that can actually help shape and create legislation that actually does affect us in a more positive manner. That stops this bullshit of let's just keep creating evil and make people choose between the lesser of two evils. Why do we keep electing people or allowing these people to create evil and only let us choose between the two evils? Why are we choosing between two evils? Why is there not one good choice for us to make? I mean, I wait. I mean, no matter what you believe, the story remains that this is my thought. If we're always choosing between the lesser of two evils, that means at no point in time do we ever think about making anything good. If we're still choosing between the lesser of two evils, why is it never a thought to just make something good and let people be able to choose that? Or make space for the good that exists so that people can choose that? I don't know. I don't have any answers. You know what I'm saying? I just got lots of questions and ideas. What am I eating? I am eating some yellow rice. This is the second part of my health care. Right, ideas over guns. I agree with ideas over guns. While I believe in everyone's right to carry a gun, I believe that there should be some psychological testing. I believe that licensing should be mandatory. I believe that registration of your firearms should be necessary. I also believe in the equitable application of law. Like, why is it Kenosha happened, right? You had 3 people shot in the street. A child is walking through the street with an automatic rifle, kills 2 people, shoots a 3rd person. The cops didn't even stop him on the street, right? With this weapon. Meanwhile, Philando Castillo, a law-abiding citizen, licensed gun owner, does not have his firearm anywhere in sight. When he just reached to get fucking paperwork, he gets shot. For being honest about the fact that he has a gun, legally has a gun, and also has the paperwork for said gun, and wants to be forthright with it, right? It's about the equitable application of law. And that brings me right on back to the judges, right? Equitable application of the law. Some laws apply to some people. Some laws apply to some people. And the laws that do apply to everybody are not applied equally. How come I could walk through Texas with my gun out and I'll get harassed and stopped and have the cops called on me? And I do not own a gun, by the way, at this moment in time. However, you got many other groups that walk around places like Texas, which is an open carry state, Georgia, open carry state. Guns out, rifles on the 6. Nobody bothers them. But let me have like a little water gun. I think it dies. I'm dead. The equitable application of law. Not equal, equitable. There's a difference. I'm not sure what that means. I think you mean they only look for guns that are out on the street. That is true, but it's also untrue. It's not so much that they only look for guns that are on the street, but they're not looking at everybody's gun in the street. They're not caring if we are following the law. They don't care if we. I can pull up so many videos of like black police officers all around the country, right, that are constantly harassed by other police officers until it is known that this person is a police officer or an FBI agent or something like that. And then it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And the officer that gets harassed is always saying, yo, I don't understand why you even have to apologize. If you'd have treated me like a human being from jump, like you treated this other person, you wouldn't even be in a situation of being embarrassed right now. You dig what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't know everything. I just know what I know. And I know that there's a lot I don't know. And that also leads me to another point. I feel like, and I think that, and I feel like, right? Let's remember that what you feel and what you think are not always the same thing. I can feel how I feel, but I don't think what I feel all the time. I don't live in what I feel all the time. Okay? My feelings are only like reality to me. So I think and I feel that there is, inherent in the culture that we're shifting away from, right? This white supremacist, patriarchal, binary culture that leaves no room for anybody except those in power, right? That there's this inherent necessity to know everything, right? That pride is so ingrained into the psychological context of society that it's really hard for people to admit that they don't know something, or be okay admitting that they don't know something. And somewhere along the line, it became wrong to ask questions. Have you ever noticed that? When's the last time someone didn't look at you crazy for asking a question? Oh, wait. When's the last time a child did not get yelled at for asking a question? Even in schools, kids are not encouraged to think. I was a child who was always encouraged to ask questions so I could find answers. You can't get answers if you ask no questions. But see, here's the way that these two things work in tandem. If you don't ask questions, you can't get answers. And if I, as an adult, am never asked questions, I never have to admit to the things I do not know. So therefore, we just create more and more people who are unwilling to use their brain to think for themselves. More and more people that are used to, like, will allow themselves to be bullied, will allow themselves to be led to wherever, allow themselves to be ruled by somebody else, allow themselves to put the responsibility of their own lives on someone else, right? Will be led by their assumptions or social media instead of actual fucking facts. It leads to things like, oh, you and I can be friends for 10, 12 years. We could be riding hard, but let us spend a little bit of time apart. And we don't actually get to talk to each other. And you start hearing rumors, but I'm nowhere around to verify them. You don't reach out to me. You just keep believing those rumors. And instead of asking me, or rather, when you ask me, you act like you don't know who I am. By you entertaining these rumors and not even letting me be privy to knowing what you know, I'm competing with, I don't know what I'm competing with. And I'm not going to fight about it. I'm not going to fight about who I am, what I've done. I'm going to always own my shit. However, if I don't know what my shit is to own, I'm not claiming some shit I didn't do, right? But here we are. You're a lemming now because you've been raised in the society that said don't ask any questions, don't admit to what you don't know, and don't listen to anybody about themselves. You know everything. You know it all. That's what our society tells us now, right? The way we can just curate our whole lives. So it's really easy for you to only go on what you see and believe only what you see because that's how deep you are. You're a surface motherfucker. And you don't even realize you're a lemming walking off the side of the cliff, burning bridges you didn't even try to build. You didn't try to maintain. So, of course, I'm going to let that bridge burn because I'm not a lemming. And many of us are not lemmings. At least I hope that many of us have remained, yes, rebellious. Our existence, our mere existence is a fucking act of rebellion. Just breathing as a Black person is an act of rebellion. You know this. At least you should. And like my favorite rapper, well, that's good. Because perfection is a myth. Perfection is a myth. Right? It's a part of that oppressive system of lies that white supremacy and patriarchy set up. It's like the whole women's beauty industry. Do you know why women shave? Because some marketing genius, some marketing person made it seem unfeminine if we didn't. So, want to be feminine. Do you know why women's clothes don't have pockets? Or at least the more luxury brands, the more you get into luxury wear, the less pockets women's clothes has. And that relates to the fact that in the beginning of, mad early, like the 1900s and stuff, Women's clothing never had pockets because if you had pockets, you were too broke. You were too poor to afford to have somebody carrying your things. So women of means never had pockets in their clothing because they could always afford to have servants carrying their bags or something. They didn't need pockets. Only poor people have pockets. That's my point. This whole world is a manipulation. The idea of perfection is something that was constructed by people that want to keep a thumb on you, keep you chasing your own fucking tail. I recently shaved my head. This is about 3 weeks of I have my lights on though because I just don't feel like having a headache right now. But I recently shaved my head bald about 3 weeks ago. I had locks that went down to my waist, and this is the best thing I could have done right now. It was the best decision I've made all year is to shave my head. I hope it worked out for your homegirl. Yeah, this is the second time I've cut my locks. Why be sad about it? It's just hair. Hair grows back. And, you know, I have been growing my locks this time. This is the second time I've had locks. And I have been growing my locks this time for 8 years. And until this year, no one had touched my hair except me and like two barbers that I went to religiously. And so now I don't have it. It feels wonderful. And I thought, you know, I've been having the idea to cut my hair for a long time. I want to say for a little over 2 years, I've been feeling to cut my hair, and I just wasn't sure how to do it, how I wanted to do it. It wasn't really until, you know, a couple weeks ago, I got this idea in my head. I was like, I should just shave my head bald. And it felt right in my soul. And once I went and got my hair, I sat down in the barber's chair. They cut from the first cut, the first snip of a lock. I felt it in my soul. Like I felt my soul open up with that haircut. And the thing about it is a lot of people don't realize your hair holds power. You know what I'm saying? It's like an antenna. One's hair is like an antenna. It's an extension of the soul's energy. And so a lot of lessons get wrapped up in your hair. A lot of frustration, a lot of residual energy, things that you thought you let go of, you're still holding on to, right? And so every time I cut my hair, that's what it always is for me. It's like there's just like something spiritual happening with me on the inside that causes me to correlate it into a physical existence. Just like if I have emotional pain, when I have emotional pain, I get tattoos that relate to that emotional pain for some reason, because that's how I transmute my pain, right? There's only so much emotional pain people can hold. So I turn it into physical pain. Since I don't always have the means to do it, I don't always have the time to deal with emotional pain. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't have time to sit and unpack shit. Sometimes you don't have time to sit and cry for hours. You don't have time to do it. But you know what? I got 45 minutes for a tattoo. So it's like everything that I'm feeling inside. And plus, sometimes you just don't want to cry anymore. Black people cry a lot. A lot. And we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to get weak. When Black women always have this, there is this stigma that Black women are so strong. And what that causes for us to do is create a ill-conceived idea of what strength really is. Being strong does not mean that you don't express your emotions. Being strong doesn't mean you don't deal with your shit. Doesn't mean that you don't unpack yourself mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It doesn't mean that you let it all boil up inside and you never say anything. Being strong means that you figure out how to handle what you handle as you can handle it. But it's just as strong to be able to give yourself a day to like cry as it is to like work through some shit physically. So you got to figure out how to cope. And to me, tattoos have always been a little bit more effective than the whole let's get drunk and fucked up. I don't see the point. I don't kill my brain cells on purpose. So no, that's that. But here we are now. We're like, I'm able to share what helps me keep going upward, right? Because the idea is not to stay stuck where you at. There are levels to this shit. The idea is to be changing. You know, I love facts. I do remain in abundance, and I'm extremely grateful because it is an idea, right? Here's this, guys. The clapback is real. Let me tell you a small secret to manifestation. Everything starts as an idea. Everything is an idea. It's all connected, right? So you have like the element of air, which is your thoughts. Whatever you think is going to come to pass. Because your thoughts feed your actions. The actions is liquid, is the element of liquid, right? How water just wears away at things. And it takes steady, consistent action for the physical manifestation of what your original thought was, right? And you got to do it all the time. So it's like, it's the discipline with which you live your life that makes your ideas manifest physically. So that is that. This is this. I'm not gonna lie. Still a little scared. Yeah, I do. I do. So the question, I'll show it to everybody. The question is, do I believe in divine timing? Yes, I do. And I think that what has happened over the course of all of these, off of the initial, lockdown of the pandemic, was that people were able to harness their own divine timing, to fall into divine timing, to get in line with the natural circadian rhythms of the earth, because we were made to be in line with the earth, right? We are of the earth, we are of the stars. Like, we're supposed to be vibrating on the same frequency as what people would call angels or gods or whatever you want to call these higher powers that you feel like you have no control over, no connection to. Divine timing allows you to be in line with the natural rhythm of things, with your natural rhythm of things, right? Mars is next to your window. That's dope. I can't really see anything out my window. And I think the moon is left. So the moon usually sits right there. Like, when it's full, it sits. If it's like right there above my house. And I can sometimes see it out my window, but sometimes not so much. But yeah, when you allow yourself to be led by your spirit, when you let the spirit lead you, you can't help but be in divine timing, because you understand how the vesselhood, right? The cycle of creation and destruction. The fact that, like, things must be destroyed to make space for new things to be created. That's why complacency and stagnancy is so dangerous. A lot of people get so comfortable where you're at. Stay where you're at. Be comfortable where you're at. But if you don't get rid of some old shit, you can't get in no new shit. It's just like, I liken it to whenever I was younger. And I was younger, and my grandmother would say she would take me shopping. But in order to take me shopping, I used to have to take all the clothes, pull out all the clothes that don't fit. And I do this with my kids too. Take out all your clothes that don't fit, or anything that you don't regularly wear, and we're going to donate that. That's what we're doing. If you want new shit, you got to get rid of your old shit. The shit that you don't use. You can't just hold on to things because other people need them. And that's just the cycle of life. You're too God complex. I don't even understand what that means. You're too God complex. I think you think you're God complex, but you're not. And I mean no offense by this. It's just that, to me, if you were of a God complex, then everything I say, you would understand completely. Because have you not seen my name? The God is. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Right there. Right there. That's my name. The God is. It's not a name I gave myself. It's a name that was given to me, but as I have grown into it, and I think I'm very comfortable in it now, and that God and I have a really great relationship because I am God and God is me, just like God is you. However, I just understand things differently, and that's okay. We don't have to agree for what we both say to be true. You understand? That's another jewel I wanted to drop. While we're talking about these broken systems that are working just fine, they're not broken. They were built broken, right? Um, but these oppressive systems that make you believe that like there's nothing divine about your existence. I mean, shit. The literally, or also the way these systems have made people believe that only one thing at a time can be true, when all of life, all of nature is hypocrisy. Everything has balance to it. If there's no up, there's no down. There's no sweet without sour. You understand that it's the opposites of things that define each other. Just like black is the presence of all color, and white is the absence of all color. Not the other way around. Yeah. Like I said, I don't have any answers. I just got ideas. And now I gotta rest. Because I'm not gonna lie. Tired. And it's hard to breathe and talk right now. I have to go get some more. I have to take another NyQuil or something. Make some more tea. Just like all of this is congested. All of this is congested. Guys and girls, I urge you, please do not forget to close your windows at night because you get congested and it's really hard to breathe and talk at the same time when you're as congested as I is. You don't want to be like me. All right. Don't pick any evils. Pick the good and close your damn windows at night. Thank you so much, Artistic Create, for tuning in and talking with me this whole time. Anybody else before I let you guys go? Let you all go back to your world. Hey, last but not least, November 15th, we're having the second installation of Pull Up and Potluck. Make sure you check out our website, thegodis.art, so that you can be updated on when we're gonna have another Pull Up and Potluck. Our first one was really good. We did the first 5 episodes of Lovecraft Country. So when you come through on the 15th, we will be screening the second half of the season, which is episodes 6 through 10 on the big screen down on the lower level. We'll also have some more gourmet popcorn. And our family meal might be some shark, might be some steak, might be a little bit of both. I haven't decided yet. Got to talk to Chef Julia Childs about what she wants to put out. But anybody who missed it, potluck and pull up and potluck is just as it sounds. All we do is that we created a space at the Guidance Arts House for, our artistic family, specifically Black and brown people, to come through, kick back, and commune with one another around food and cinema, because we love the crack jokes. We got it, we love it. So entry is free. We do ask that if you pull up, consider bringing a dish or a beverage to contribute to the family meal that Chef Julia Childs will lay out for the evening. You're also able to reserve the stove in time blocks of 2 hours if you prefer to prepare your food here for the community to consume. But you don't have to bring anything except your presence and, pull up and potluck with us. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy some movies or whatever we're screening. So on the 15th, we're going to be screening Lovecraft Country, second half of the season. That's episode 6 through 10. The week after, on the 22nd of November, we're having another potluck and pull up. And I think this might be a little musical because our boy Danny McGonigal is visiting from his home state. for the holidays. So, you know, we're having a little Friendsgiving pull up and potluck. And we'll be screening classic black holiday cinema, and or the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just because I really like that show and we can finally watch it in marathon. You know, we don't know what's gonna happen just yet. We haven't made the full schedule, but the point is, if you become a patron, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/theguidance arts, help support the work, help us pay these artists that we do work with. Let us be able to do a couple great things, and you know, maybe even hype up the graphics or something on this John. Who knows? All I know is that I can only be me. I hope you continue to only be you, because everybody else is taken. The God is tired and out. All right. I'll see you.